Hey, CDP, good morning. How's everyone doing? Come on in, come on. We're going to talk about Arkansas today. Oh, there's some things going on in Arkansas. Oh, yes. Yeah. There are some things happening in Arkansas that we need to talk about. Yeah, we need to talk about this thing in Arkansas. And no, I'm not talking about two gay men fighting and get beat with a broom and no, we ain't talking about that. Or somebody got a knife to their neck. No, we ain't talking about that. So Ben Crump has another case. Now, I'm not gonna make everybody happy. This is what I think about this. This is what I think. And I want to know what you think as well. But what's going on in Arkansas is this young lady, her name is Alicia, she's 18 years old. Alicia was driving with her hazards on in Mississippi County, Arkansas. First of all, baby, you shouldn't be doing anything in Mississippi right now. I'm telling you, I don't even get on a Mississippi street these days because Mississippi ain't playing. So he, she rather, is speeding with her hazards on. She gets pulled over by a cop. She complies. Uh, she tells him that something is wrong with her windshield and it's about to cave in and she's trying to hurry up and get home. Then she said she was going to go back to her grandmom's house, but that's why she was speeding. So the cop said there's no reason to speed. Now, Miss Alicia has a bottle in her seat. It's cold. It's not open. Okay? Now, the police officer then gets her license, get everything, she complies, calls dispatch. And this is what bothered me. Another officer said, is she that black girl? And he tells the other officer that he had given her a warning. And then, go ahead and do what you got to do with her. Because at the end of the day, the bottle wasn't open. You can have a bottle of liquor, it's not open. That doesn't mean you drank it, right? So then I guess he goes to arrest her. And she's asking why. And you know how people do this? And baby, after that, he started putting cuffs on her. He threw her to the ground. Then he commenced to punching her in the face. And you hear her say, why are you doing this? You shouldn't be punching me in the face. You can't do that. And it's all on camera. It's all on his dash cam. It's all on his camera. And so she's screaming, I'm going to call my mama. I'm going to call my mama and all of this stuff, going on. Now, this is what I think. This is what I think. On Alicia's part, Alicia mama, Alicia granddaddy, Alicia grandmama, Alicia uncle. Did anybody tell Alicia that, baby, you don't have them privileges like that? Did somebody sit down and tell Alicia that you ain't no white woman, you ain't no white man, and you better not even breathe crazy with some of these police officers, especially coming out of a county named Mississippi County? Okay? Um, there are some things we just don't do. Is it right? No. We shouldn't have to be all tense and all of that. But we know what police officers do. And somebody needed to tell Leisha this. I don't know if anybody told Leisha this. Leisha, girl, you cannot be speeding in Mississippi County. Girl, you can have gunshots in your car. You better not speed. You better not speed. Because we don't have those type of privileges. Leisha, you should have just let them take you to jail, girl, and you could have called your mom. Now, you were speeding. Leisha, you should have took that first warning that man gave you in Mississippi County. And every time you go to Mississippi County, you should be doing 40 miles per hour. You shouldn't be speeding 40 miles per hour in Mississippi County because you already got caught once. Let me tell you something. I got a warning on Pat Booker Road in Universal City. Because, baby, they will ticket you if you go 1 mile over the speed limit. And you don't have to worry about me speeding in Universal City no more. The warning was enough. The warning was enough. Now, this is what I think. Mr. Cop, Mr. Cop, you shouldn't have hit her in the face and you shouldn't have threw her to the ground. And y'all need to go to some racial sensitivity class because black shouldn't have even came up. See that black girl? Mr. Police Officer, if this was a drunk white woman, would y'all done the same thing? And see, I'm bringing this to real. If this was a white woman or a white man, they could have cussed you out. And this is my problem with these police departments. You let a whole man go into a church, unalive some people, and y'all gave that man a chicken sandwich. Another man in Minneapolis was running the streets, pow and everything, and he's still alive. I can't understand how certain people do the most egregious thing, but y'all don't do half the stuff that y'all did for a lady who was speeding and asked a question. So again, I'm not excusing anyone, but all of that, what they did to that lady was unnecessary. It is some type of rage against black people that it made him upset. And when he said that black girl, he said, go on, take her in. Go on, take her in. And I'm like, oh, okay. I done seen white folk do worse. Did y'all do that to Tommy Ramo? Hello? Did y'all do that to Tommy Ramo? So I'm not excusing Leisha. Her name is Alicia. But you know us. I'm not excusing Leisha. Leisha, your folks should have told you that, girl, you not special. Okay? You driving in Mississippi County. First of all, Mississippi County, Arkansas is enough that I would just go around the whole damn county. Because she live in Osceola, not Osceola, but Osceola, Arkansas. Ma'am. So, again, I don't know what's playing out in Arkansas. But, yeah. Now, Ben Crump is there. Let me say this. People get Ben Crump because Ben Crump is visible. Ben Crump he got the television channels on live. And if you want to bring attention to your mess, you call Ben. And Ben is getting paid. Now, I'm going to say this. The police officers need to go through sensitivity training and DEI because it was like they was upset because she was a black woman. That really shocked me. And then and then this is the thing, because Leisha ain't out the clear either. She had did this before. And Leisha, you shouldn't have had nothing to drink in your car. If the man already caught you and gave you a warning, your saving grace is that you didn't open that whiskey or whatever you had. So I wanted to say that. It's crazy. It is crazy. Black people, tell your children that we wish this society was about equal justice, but it's not. Black people can't do the same thing as white people. I'm sorry, and white people, y'all might be watching this, but we know that white privilege is no joke, and that y'all can do things that we can't. Y'all can get out y'all car and sit there and have a whole argument with the police officer. We can't do that. Even Spanish people can't do that. I have a friend, and in Latin America, they're used to getting out the car, speaking with the cops. Baby, they had to tell the folk coming from across the water and across the border that you can't do that because you'll find yourself 6 feet under. Now, y'all may not like being Crump, but people keep being Crump because being Crump brings attention to the thing. Who else would have brought attention to this? Y'all got to realize black people do things for a reason. I'm not interested in what Castro got to say. I'm not dropping that. Can y'all understand that I'm not interested in that? I'm not interested in that. The only thing about Arkansas I'm talking about is Leisha, who got slammed down to the ground and punched in the face. I am not interested in two grown men who don't want to grow up. I'm not interested in that. Let's move on to the next bill. Baby, ICE is cutting up. In Virginia, ICE drew their weapons on this therapist, and Miss Girl was not playing. First of all, she said, "I do got a loud mouth, and I'm gonna call it when I see it." So ICE was out by the detention center, I guess, where people try to get their stuff together, and she said what she said. So ICE got in their feelings and drew their this lady. This lady had a dash cam, and ICE is lying. They're trying to say that this lady circled them, threatening them. This lady said, "No, I was passing and I said this, and they blocked my car." Why don't ICE have their body cams? The lady's dash cam saved her life because what ICE is saying is not congruent with what the lady's body cam is showing. Let me tell you something. Y'all don't be playing with these folks. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Now let me say this. This is the divine starlight. If you don't like what I'm doing now, depart. I don't care about what people say. This is my platform. This has nothing to do with the beef sector. This is my platform. And I determine what I'm going to talk about. I'm not beholden to these people. Let me tell you something. Baby, we can drop all the way down to zero. I'm good. That means I need to do something else in another place. But I do not care what people are saying. So, Divine Starlight, if it bothers you, dismiss yourself. I told you, I'm not interested in tragedy. I'm not interested in depression and oppression. I'm not interested in people who all they got to do is do this and the third. Find a new person, Divine. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. I'm really not interested in that right now. And maybe the commentary is Jay Wilson is doing this, but I don't care. You got to realize that I don't care. Find somebody who's interested in that stuff. I know what's in the news, and I watch the news, and that's what interests me. Y'all think y'all gatekeepers and drop the link down for people so y'all can start mess. I don't care what these people say. I never have. But my thing is, this is my platform and this is my stream yard, and I do what I want on it. And either you like it or you don't. And if you don't, that's fine. All right, moving right along. You got to tell people. People always trying to pull you back into stuff for their benefit. That doesn't benefit me anymore. I'm really not interested in that foolishness anymore. So going on from there, y'all, I'm still talking about the Howard situation, and we know what's going on with that. So there's a lot of things going on with Howard. Um, it was something else that I was thinking about, you all, and it slipped my mind because I had to tell Divine Starlight, nobody don't give a damn about what people say. But I'll talk about that. Who cares? Who gives a damn? I speak on a lot of topics. You're right. Oh, they're still on the Trump situation now. This is what I think. And this is the show. This is what I think. With this Trump situation, baby, Trump don't give five damns about nobody but Trump. And even though those people had fighter jets around that plane, if the plane was the target, Trump didn't want to be on the plane. And Trump said, I would rather use these reporters and some of these other people. But Trump took his closest people with him on his plane. Marco Rubio. Trump don't give a damn about you. He put you on that decoy plane because if someone were to hit that plane, he don't give a damn about you. Hello, all the people who are on that decoy plane, that man is saying, y'all are y'all are dispensable. The people who I really need with me, they came on the plane with me. So Trump is saying, reporters, y'all are indispensable. Marco Rubio and the people who was on that old plane, y'all indispensable. Man, that man don't care about nobody but himself. Nobody. And he is trying hard to rig this election because he knows that if the Democrats get power, especially some progressive ones, that his ass is grass. And Democrats, you need to take America back because the Republicans have made this man the ruler of their party, and it does not even look like their party anymore. Unbelievable. And y'all need to stack the Supreme Court because this court is a kangaroo court. And they got people loyal to this man. And I'm being real about that. I have never seen somebody blatantly make money off the White House like this. I was watching a little clip of Wes Moore. Wes Moore is funny. Now, I don't think Wes Moore is gay, but he does know gay lingo. And he said, I don't kiki. I'm like, you know what, Wes? He said, I don't kiki. Wes Moore said, if you're going to work for the state of Maryland, you cannot be doing secret trading. Wes Moore said, I don't kiki with the president. I'm like, okay, kiki. And I don't think Wes Moore is gay, but he did use kiki. I'm like, okay, kiki. Donald Trump likes Wes Moore. He said he's a handsome guy. Yeah. You like Wes Moore. Yeah. Yeah. You all had to get somebody straight, too. So since we on this topic, because again, somebody came to me and say, I don't see color. I don't see, girl, move on. Let me say this again. Don't let your white privilege deny me of my humanity. Because when you say you don't see color, then you don't see all of the things that happen. You don't walk in my shoes. And that means you have white privilege. And that's the sad part about it. A lot of these kids that are coming up missing, some of them didn't see color. And they don't know the struggle. And let me say this, you all. I have major groups of friends from all nationalities, from all ethnic groups. But I do not deny my friends' humanity. I know that Latinos in Texas are not always treated well. I have heard some ugly things. I know that Asians have a stereotype that they have to live down. And if I don't recognize that, then guess what? I'm denying their humanity and what they really have to go through. Talking about she don't see color. You don't have no other choice but to see it. You don't see color, but if a black man passes your car or you have a purse and they got locks and a gold tooth, would you clench your purse? Would you do the same thing for a white man? See, people ain't real honest. They ain't real honest. I don't see color. Don't no. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all this too. When people real churchy with me, I leave them alone too. How you doing? Well, blessed and highly favored. The Lord, no, you messy. I hate to say it, but let me tell you something. I have been right 99.9% of the time. When people do that kind of stuff, you messy. I don't do Christian businesses because they always trying to justify they mess with Jesus. I'm like, nope. And I don't care what color you are. I'm just saying. These are just observations. Observations. Divine, you're getting ready to get dropped. Because let me say this to you, Divine. I don't care. It's old. I have done it. Do you understand it's depressing seeing people who are not mentally there be exploited? Do you understand that it's depressing to see people struggling and dealing with DV? I'm tired of that. Do you think it's funny that people have problems with abandonment issues and they're getting mad over a show? Know when to leave. Now, Devon, if you got a problem with this, then I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to permanently block you. The reasons why I'm not participating are mine and mine alone. And I don't owe you or anybody else any explanation of why I decided to leave that foolishness behind. I don't watch the folk, so I can't talk about them. I am not starting to watch the people because I'm doing much better not watching them. I don't have time to deal with people who don't want to uplift nobody and pull people down. I don't have time for that. Now you can sit there and indulge in that mess, but I'm good with it. It was fun. It was what, but it's time to move on. Now, if you don't like what I'm giving, I will give you a chance to leave of your own. But if this continues, I'm going to help you. I am tired of your ranting and complaining. This is my platform. My platform. Just wanted to let you know that. I'm just tired of dealing with people. And again, and I don't take, let me say this, I don't take joy out of doing that anymore. Because these people are really hurt. And like I said, y'all, when I went to Atlanta, I really found out that these people take this stuff seriously. I don't have time for that. I'll let y'all do that. And I don't knock y'all for doing it. But I'm just not there anymore. Yeah, they got serious mental issues. I don't got time for this. I'm not a stalker. I don't sit there and yeah, I don't have time for it. So let these people do what they want to do. Um, yeah. You know, people don't get it. You try to help them to say, hey, I'm good. And let me say this too. Let me say this to the people. Don't email me what people are saying. I don't care. Ain't nobody run me off. Ain't nobody did this or the third. I'm just tired of dealing with crazy ass people. And if you continue in the path, you'll become illogical. If you continue in the path, you'll be just like them. I don't have time for that. I really don't. So let people say what they want to. It has no effect on me. I'm good. I am good. Alcoholics, all of this stuff. And y'all sit there, and this is the sad part about it. Y'all sit there and celebrate it. I am tired of celebrating mediocrity. I'm tired of celebrating people not wanting to work and sit on the government's dime and then got the audacity to say stuff about people who work on a daily. I don't got time for that. I don't got time for that. People who don't want to invest in themselves and improve themselves. I don't have time for that. And don't get me wrong. A lot of people look at it because it makes them feel good about themselves. And a lot of people look at it to say, you know what? Let me help my children so they ain't like this. Catherine Powell was my last straw baby. I'm like, no, 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 baby, that clock ain't going all around. Sorry. And then you got people like Divine Starlight who wants you to continue, and I don't got time for it. And I don't care if it's the news and stuff, and it's depressing. Well, okay, stop watching the news. CNN still comes on whether you want to see it or not. You know, I understand how y'all feel about Ben Crump, but Donald Trump can't either. I'm sorry, Donald Trump can't either. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. It's a lot going on, but people are calling on Ben Crump for a reason. So why do you all think people are calling on Ben Crump? Personally, I would try to get a referral from Willie Gary because Willie Gary is a good attorney. Um, but yeah, maybe I don't even see what she's doing. I can't even tell you about what she's doing. Kimmy, I'm so far gone. You just you don't. Yeah, yeah. Oh, so I was watching Durant. He had T.S. Madison on, and obviously T.S. Madison must have said something about not Carlton Banks. And that's the man who be playing Lily and Joyce and First Lady and Bun, Bishop, Demetrius. He plays all of those characters. And I think T.S. Madison called him a church sissy. And that set off some stuff. And she apologized. She didn't have to do anything, but she apologized because she realized that a lot of people have been called that, and this man is doing his show. I don't think she did it with an intent to harm, but the words were hurtful nevertheless. And I thought it was interesting that she went on Durant's show, and he kind of took her to task with that. And she was like, yeah, I'm sorry, and I had to. She said, she called straight people straggots. She called them straggots. But she said when it came from her own community, she had to really examine that. So I thought that was very interesting. So I saw that. So I've been watching that kind of stuff. So that's the thing that I've been looking. So she was talking about that. And this is where I am too. You know, I don't use the word with people in the community. Um, yeah, and it gives me self hatred. Like, when you calling somebody black crispy because they're darker, what does that really say? And I know you're fighting, and when we in the heat of the battle, we gonna say things to hurt. But what does it really say? Because there's nothing wrong with being dark, and we're still equating darkness with bad, with ugly, and that stuff has been systematically taught, not knowing that maybe the first people were dark. It says a lot. Then you got gay men calling other gay men the F word. Now, I call people punk because, again, I've heard it, but still in all, that F word and all of that stuff. And again, that's another reason why I'm like, okay, I'm good with the sector because I don't do that. I don't do that in my real life. I don't call people the F word and stuff and all of that. I rarely call people out of their name. So I'm not going to continue to do that with people who do that. And also, too, we have a tendency to despise things that we should have. Everybody should aspire to be educated, and that's not always getting a degree. But we hate that kind of stuff, and it goes to show you people have issues with themselves. What is FBA? And I have not watched Tasha K either. You all because I just don't. I just don't. I'm really over a lot of negative, trashy stuff now. I really am. You know, are we having really serious dialogue? We need to be having dialogue of why our kids can't read. We can sit up there and read, but we can't read. See, that's what I'm saying. People talking about reading people, but they can't read. Oh, foundational Black Americans. Oh, Americans who were born here. That's the new. That's the new language. Not Americans who are immigrants. Okay. Lord, we'll always find ways to separate ourselves. I tell you that right now. Baby, do you not know black people are catching hell everywhere? Do you know that black people in Melanesia and Asian countries, East Timor, are catching hell? Do you know that people who are Aboriginal in Australia are catching hell? Do you know the Maori people in New Zealand are catching hell? Maybe if we just unite instead of dividing. We'll find a way to divide ourselves, though. Northern blacks and southern blacks. Which black? You're black. And what really needs to happen, let me tell you what really needs to happen. We need to sit down with our immigrant brothers and sisters, Caribbean and from the diaspora, and have a real serious conversation about what it means to be black in America. What colonialism did to y'all in Africa. How 400 years of mess, and see, these Africans and these Caribbean people who are black are now seeing how the other feels about them. And see, we could really stand behind you, but when you think life is easy, and now they're coming to deport you, now you want everybody to, yeah. And I'm gonna say this: black people are not gonna do everything. Now, this is not every case, and this is not everybody, but right here in San Antonio, there is an African brother who works for a group to help people understand each other. And he has an important role. During the January 6th situation, we were in that conference. We were in that conference. And I was visibly upset. And I told him, see, this is why I'm angry. Because the people in January 6th just stormed the Capitol and y'all act like it ain't nothing. And I said, I'm listening to you placate racism. You just told us that you got a job at the University of Incarnate Word, but they told you if your accent or if you mess up one time, you are gone. And you took that job. Black people ain't gonna deal with that foolishness. That would have been an EEOC violation. But you took that job. And I looked that professor up, and everybody, easy professor, don't make see again, real docile. Instead of giving people what they need, you give them what they want because you're too afraid that if you cause a wave, you're gonna be gone. That's the difference. Because I'm not gonna put up with that. And I had to let him know. And we had a conversation. And now we have a mutual understanding that you gave up some of your humanity to get a job. You let them people demean you. Now, on the other hand, I'm going to say this, and this is what I say. Black people, minorities who live in the United States who are no longer going to be a minority soon, you all, foreigners look at us like we're crazy. Pell Grant. They cannot understand how you get money and you still fail classes. They don't understand how y'all don't know about the Workforce Innovation Act to pay for classes, but y'all don't utilize it, and always they don't get that. And one thing about immigrants is they gonna find out everything that they can get, but the difference is they ain't gonna mess it up. See, we sit here and mess our stuff up. We don't go to class when it rains. We'll buy a Louis Vuitton purse instead of buying a laptop. And so the foreigners look over at us like, y'all got to be crazy. Because it's like the land of milk and honey over here. Because in India and in Africa, there is no financial aid. There is no financial aid. Either you got the means or you don't. That is it. So when they come over to America and y'all getting Pell Grants, y'all getting scholarship, and then y'all still fail, baby, they look at y'all crazy. And you know why? Because those foreign people are hungry, literally and figuratively. I'm telling you, when I used to go to Africa, all they could think about is how do I get to school in the United States. When I stepped foot at the University of Ghana in Accra, their library didn't even have an air conditioner. Their flagship university was like, oof. I mean, 5, 6, 7 people sleeping one to a dorm. They had substandard facilities. But where they had substandard facilities, baby, they made up in education. And when I tell you people were stuck in that hot, baby, it was so many people in that hot library, but they crave learning. They know that education is the way out. And here we are, we don't even want to go to school. We talking about everybody don't need college. Well, they don't think that in Africa. They don't think like that in Asia. Only in the United States we thinking like that. And so when they come over here and they see all of this and y'all ain't taking advantage of this, they gonna take advantage of it. And then we get mad because they taking advantage of stuff that we take for granted. Because we've been given all of this and we take it for granted. Now let me say this. Everything that we got, we earned. 400 years of servitude, we earned it. But don't sit there and waste it. Don't sit there and waste it. I don't have a problem with you buying a Louis Vuitton and with your financial aid money, but graduate. Make sure your books and stuff are taken care of before you do that. Make sure your priorities are in the right place. But that's the difference between these foreigners and our people here. Foreigners see opportunity, and they can't understand why we ain't taking advantage of it. And then we'll sit there and complain, not knowing that these people come from poverty. Not all of them, but a great deal of them do. And they can't understand how y'all can't make it with all of this help. Because in their country, baby, you don't get no Pell Grant. You don't get none of that stuff. And we the first to get mad. We don't work together. Baby, they'll stay 82. Baby, let me tell you something about the Latinos and the African stuff. Baby, they will stay 10 to a house until somebody can get their own house. In Miami, Them people be building onto their houses. They have generations living in one house. Let me say this. Let me say this. We forget the struggle. We forget stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat, our weary feet come to the place which our forefathers signed. We have come over the path that have been watered. We have come treading the blood of the path of the slaughtered. Y'all better go ahead and look at that Negro anthem. Y'all better see what James Johnson then was talking about and lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmony of liberty. Let every resound loud as the let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Baby, let me tell you something. That National Negro Anthem will tell you everything that you need to know. Just wrapped up. You hear me? Wrapped up. Y'all better read Carter G. Woodson, The Miseducation of the Negro. See, this is why I don't forget the trailer and the hood neighborhood. Carter G. Woodson said that black people get that education and they forget about where they came from. They don't invest in where they came from. The only time you see them in the hood is going to church or get their hair cut or get a soul food dinner or a plate. Do you hear me? So thank God for visionaries like Carter G. Woodson. Thank God for, and let me say this, James Baldwin didn't have a degree one. Do you hear me? Neither did Maya Angelou. But what they did have is research. Baldwin and Angelou did research, research, research. And they could reinvent themselves. Catherine Dunham, research. Look at those old heads. Those people were getting educated through life and reading. We had conscious artists such as Nina Simone. Even Mahalia Jackson was conscious. Now we got artists who will sell us out for 30 pieces of silver. You hear me? Creole, I got a check. So again, stop following the Nicki Minaj's and stuff. Baby, these people ain't they ain't got your interest in heart. Half of these people don't even want to be black. They don't even want to be black. You know, I know Harry Belafonte loves some white women. He did. Most of them do, but at least they fought for our rights. I'm gonna give him that. I'm gonna give you that. And let me say this to you all: who you love is who you love. Who you love is who you love. But please do not diminish your folk over who you love. You ain't dated all black women. You ain't dated all black men. I hate people who do that. Because all the black women, you ain't dated all black women. That tells me how ignorant you are. And a lot of you all don't want to date black women because they're going to hold you to task. To be honest. Yeah, a lot of people. Um, you know what, y'all? I was watching something with Jaguar Wright, and it dealt with Cat Williams and who was the other comedian? But Jaguar was talking about, and Snoop. And Jaguar was talking about, she pretty much said Snoop sold out somebody and how Cat Williams kept it real, not to dog out another actor, and they start coming after Cat. Now, I'm going to say this, y'all. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. We know that Cat Williams went through a lot. Childish Gambino really helped Cat Williams to come back when he did that Atlanta series. Cat was going through. Cat couldn't even go to the Walmart without getting in trouble. My God, today. And I know people be saying that Jaguar be crazy, but y'all got to realize that things happen to people when they start fighting for their rights. When Michael Jackson made that song, They Don't Really Care About Us, Michael was really upset because Michael realized that you still black. I don't care how much that skin is this color, you still black. And when Michael got them Beatles songs and that catalog and had half of Sony music, it didn't go well. When Bill Cosby tried to buy a major network, it didn't go well. And this is how I always felt about Hollywood and the entertainment industry. They always have dirt on you, some kind of way. So when you get out of line, they throw that junk in your face. And a lot of these actors and actresses are very closely tied. Not all of them, but a lot of them are closely tied to Scientology. And that's what Scientology does. They act like they're helping you getting all of this information. But in actuality, what they're doing is getting information. And this is what I believe in the Epstein class, the Weinstein class. I believe all of these people have information. I even believe this about secret societies. You do something for me that's off the books, but it's illegal. And if you don't return this favor, I got mess on you. And everybody knows everybody's mess. And I truly believe that there's an architect. And I always say that, and I know it's getting into very much now Masonic stuff, but I do believe that the architect controls who, what, where, and he knows all. And what people do. And put things into motion. There are things that we do not know about. There are some things that have already been set into play. People already done planned it. And I believe this is what happens. Y'all remember when Jim Carrey was on Jimmy Kimmel show, and he was acting real crazy, and he was talking real crazy about the Illuminati, and he was doing them signs. He did the sign with the triangle, and he was sticking out his tongue. And baby, I don't know if it was an act or not, but he got that phone call, and just that quickly. I'm telling you. Now let me tell you about Monique. Let me tell you about Monique. You go back when Monique was popular, and Paul Mooney was on Monique's show. And Paul Mooney was calling it out. And Monique act like she didn't know. And Monique knew. And when Monique started talking, just like Taraji P. Henson, the powers that be, I noticed that Taraji ain't as popping as she used to be. I wonder why. Now she may come up with something, but it ain't popping like it used to be. And I do believe that the entertainment business is the new plantation. You have people making an exorbitant amount of money, but they're controlled. And they are making peanuts. It's almost like they're sharecropping when you realize the people really at the top are making a whole lot of money. I mean, people can gross $300,000 and you only getting 1 million. That goes for basketball players. That goes for singers. And you all don't understand that these people pay a lot of money. So say if Taraji, and I'm using her as an example. This is not concrete, but I'm just using an example. Say if she made $50,000. Well, her agent's gonna get 10% off of that off the top. Her manager is gonna get that. She got to pay her stylist and her makeup artist. So when you look at it, that may Taraji may take home 10,000, maybe 20. The house always wins, and now I understand why a lot of stars only fly into Hollywood to do their movies, but move to another place. It ain't no joke. And guess what? The same thing happens on YouTube. People will try to control what kind of content you do. They try to typecast you into certain type of genres. And a true artist is going to explore all aspects of his or her or their capabilities. So I'm not afraid to step out and do something different other than um, fuss and fight with other black people. That's easy. But I'm more deeper than that. That's not the only thing that I can do. Old Coffee Beans, you need to send me that by email. Send me that by email. That sounds like a good book. I would love to read that. Amber Rose did a good interview years ago talking about the industry. She said the managers and business folk don't know what they are doing. Take all your money. No, they have not found Nancy Guthrie. And you know what, y'all? I knew Nancy if they didn't find her right away. That lady had too many medications to take. And so they said that they buried her mother in nature. And yeah, but look, wait, child, you said Amber Rose. But Hershey, Amber Rose ain't no different than Cardi B. Let me tell you something. If you all look at Jim Carrey's documentary, Jim Carrey was not funny. Jim Carrey did a lot of impersonations. And somebody in Canada who was a news reporter reported on Jim Carrey, and that's how he got his big break because he bombed his first comic. He bombed. Jim Carrey was not that good. And Jim Carrey got his big start on In Living Color. And that goes to show you that Hollywood can make you anything that they want you to be. You know what I'm saying? And that happened with Jim Carrey. But Jim Carrey is not a dumb man. And one thing that Jim Carrey did say is when I wasn't rich, I was free. I could go where I wanted to go. I wasn't recognized by all of these people. And I'm going to tell y'all, give me fortune over fame any day. Fame is crappy. Fame is a loss of your freedom. You can't go to the IHOP. You can't go to the Starbucks. You can't let your hair down. Fame sucks. And I don't think people get that. They want it. I want people to know my name, you know. Yeah, Dave Chappelle as well. And the thing is, Dave said, I don't do no drugs. He said, now I smoke some weed. But Dave said, I don't do no drugs. And let me tell you about Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is not poor. Dave Chappelle has black privilege. Again, Dave Chappelle's great grandfather was the president of Allen University in Columbia, South Carolina. Dave comes from a lineage of wealth, and his dad was a professor at Antioch College. And his mom, she may have retired, but she was an administrator at Wright State University. Dave was not a poor kid. Dave did not grow up in the hood. Now, I'm going to say this about Amber Rose, though. Look at how many people she dated in the industry. Yeah. Look how she got to be known. Leslie Jones was talking about. Now, I kind of agree, not agree with Leslie Jones about comedy. I went to see Shula King. Shula King Shula King is a licensed mortician. Shula King started on YouTube. He was funny on YouTube, and he was funny on his comedy show. I understand what Leslie Jones is saying that people don't have the grit, but some people are talented, and they're going to make it. And how you get into the game is how you get into the game. But my thing is, I would rather get into the game by my own merits and not sleep my way into the game. Because a lot of people have slept their way into the game. And how you get in is usually how you get out. This is what I be telling people. I don't need no big old following on YouTube. Oh, somebody got 100,000 people. Good for them. Good for them. It's all right. I'm good with my 9 to 5. I'm good with my 9 to 5. Also, I don't want my money to be controlled on my popularity. So there's a lot I got to say about that. But you all, so these are some things we're going to be talking about. I don't want to disappoint people. Um, somebody said your numbers are dropping, so I already told you all I'm not caught up in that. I'm really not caught up in that because, again, I have a 9 to 5 that I go to every day. I'm really not caught up into that and the numbers dropping. My thing is I'm about consciousness, being aware, knowing what's going on, being woke. I don't care what nobody say. Being woke ain't nothing wrong with it. When you take a nap, make sure somebody else is looking out. It always needs to be somebody looking. Let me tell you, in the animal kingdom, there's always a lookout to sound the alarm so everybody else can rest and be at ease. And that's what I'm going to say to you all. So no one has made me leave the beef sector. I said you need to go. I gave it a good run. It was fun until it ain't fun no more. And you just get tired of doing the same old thing. It is low hanging fruit. And I had to say, Jay, it is low hanging fruit. And you're not a person that will do things because it's not a challenge. You like a challenge. And not knowing how things are going to turn out, not doing things that everybody else is doing, that's a challenge. That is a challenge for me. So that's where I am. And I'm good with it. I'm good with it. But no one has done anything to me. I ain't afraid of nobody. I just don't have time or the effort. And like I said to you all, I don't want to watch people because they're not funny. It doesn't give me anything, and I'm good. Yeah, Kimmy, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm really good. And, you know, the money still comes in. It's at Walmart. Coffee beans, please send it to me. Send it to me. Send me that title by email. I am very interested in reading that. So I'm just putting my email down. And notice, I'm going to tell y'all something. Notice that I don't drop my link down. For what? If you're not willing to talk about things that matter, then I'm not dropping my link down. I'm not interested in what's going on in the sector. The only thing that I really talked about sector wise was the Youssef situation because it seems like Youssef is out. And I know a lot of people had a lot to say about Youssef when he was in. And yeah, and so that's it. Because that intrigued me because I knew it was going to be like, well, how did he get out? And my thing is, if he's out, somebody done lied. There's some evidence. There was lack of evidence. So I'm really interested. I'm more interested in what did the court find? What did the court say? And why is he, if he's out, and I'm only assuming he's out because of the post. It's not verified, but yeah. Yeah, I'm really not interested in that, y'all. I'm really interested in some good commentary and some content that makes us think. Um, yeah. So I know it's new, and I wanna know how long Divine and Island Diva gonna last over here because they are very adamant about me knowing what's going on in the beef sector, and I'm like, boo, I'm really not interested. And it seems like that bothers them, but I'm really not interested. And the reason why I'm not interested, and I really can't speak on it because I'm not watching it. And y'all, that's the honest to God truth. When you don't watch this stuff, you can't talk about it. And you know what I'm not gonna do no more? Y'all, what's going on in the sector? Because I don't really care anymore. That's the truth. What's going? I'm not interested. I'm not interested. And so again, Let the people say what they want.
And I don't want it to bother you all. Let me say that to y'all. If it's not bothering me, don't let it bother you. Okay? Don't let it bother you. Jesus said, let not your heart be troubled. Believe in God and also in me. In my Father's house, there's many mansions. Baby, stop worried about people. Let not your heart be troubled. All I can say is be angry, but sin not, because sin will get you put in jail. The law is for the lawless. That's all I got to say. Baby, be angry. The Bible says you can be angry, but the Bible says sin not, because the sinning is going to get you put in jail. The sinning is going to get you in court. And I'm not angry. Come on now. That's one thing I can say. I ain't angry. Shunda, Shunda. I'm not a, Shundo. I ain't angry. So, and I'm not going to be. I keep peace with all men. But you can't, everybody ain't got a peaceful spirit. Come on. Let me say this, y'all. I don't force people to keep membership. People keep membership because they like me, but I don't know. That's up to the person. That's up to the person. That ain't up to me. Baby, I'm not making mountains out of molehills. If people want to continue to be members, they can. If they don't have to. I mean, I ain't never promised people I was going to do beef sector stuff forever. I never promised that. I ain't never signed a contract to say you are obligated to do beef sector commentary for 5 years. I didn't sign no contract. I'm not legally bound to do anything for these folks. You see how that works? Let me say this, y'all. A lot of this is about control. People want to control. Even your platforms, they want to control. And I'm not that type of person. And my thing is, this is a decision that I've made for myself. But what y'all should really watch is how people respond when you do something new. How people respond when you really don't give them the attention that they desire in what they do. Now, a lot of you all are telling me what people are doing, and I'm so done with it. I'm like, because I blocked a couple of people for that. Not because it's a nuisance, because you don't care. It's not like you can't go and watch, but I refuse because it don't add anything to my life. It don't add anything to my life. I'm not these people's real friends. We don't know each other. And my thing is, I don't have time to go and start watching folk who I never watched in the first place. And then another thing is, I'm good. I think that I have gained much more by not watching this foolishness. And that's the truth. And I am not coming down on anybody. One thing I'm not going to do is tell people they demonic, and I'm not, I ain't doing all of that. And no, I just think that people have to come to their realization of what they need to do for themselves. And I think that's a big thing. What is right for you? What do you have to do for yourself? And I'm not mad at people doing what they need to do for themselves. You should do what you need to do for yourself. And that's why I say I'm not everybody. I'm not everybody. And it's easy to sit there and roast gab people. I can roast gab people day in, day out, so on and so forth. But my thing is this: some of these people are real. Y'all listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me good. And I want y'all to hear me because I know people have a lot to say. There are people who are mentally not well. And I'm not diagnosing anybody, but when you let folk on a platform get you out of your body, make you so upset, make you get on a platform and curse them out, something is wrong. People you don't even know. And you got to realize that these people, you know, the Tommy thing, even when you try to help people and say, hey, y'all don't do this, and that man went over there and got a felony, I'm good. I'm good. Because I would never deal with this foolishness in real life. So why am I going to subject myself to it now? I'm good. I'm good. I ain't coming to your house. I'm not coming to stalk you. I ain't doing none of that foolishness. None of it. And my thing is, you learn from your past, you live in your present, and you prepare for your future. I have learned from the past. I am living in my present, and I am definitely preparing for my future. And this foolishness does not, it's not in my future. I'm not planning this for my future. I got better things to do. And I'm not better than anybody else. I'm not. But again, you got to make decisions for yourself. And no matter how people try to be influential, you know in your heart of hearts what you need to do for yourself. And when you know what you're doing is right and it's for you, and you don't have any ulterior motive, baby, you can live peacefully and free. No matter what people say, people will try to act like you scared and you don't want to come on. And they will take a situation and try to slant it or give it an angle. And let me tell you something, I ain't even mad at that. I'm not even mad at that. But that's the situation. So look, I am at I am at the Uber office right now. I'm at the Uber office, so um, I'm here 15 minutes early. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some things done. But thank you all for watching, and I really appreciate it. And my thing is, observe the people. Observe the people, and you got to ask yourself, why do people have a problem with Jay? He's moving on to this. Now I'm gonna tell you what, moving on don't mean I'm giving up my platform. That's crazy because this is my platform. I've just moved on and not talking about people because it's not worth it. And again, I'll do this for a little bit until it's nothing and you move on. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But watch the people. Why are they so twisted and bothered by it? And you got to ask yourself, do they have content? Because I'm honest. I'm finding my way, but I think I'm doing what I need to do. So it is what it is. Y'all have a good one, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace and love. Bye.